Folks, we are back after 1 week off to kind of get everything together to see what is going on in the world of football. We are back. Compas FC is back with some I told you so's. As we got some receipts. You know, Eddie Rodriguez always has a receipts from the red light district. You know, JC Cervantes has it all as well. So, guys, JC, how you doing?
Hey, you see, we're all dressed in black for the official burial here. And, you know, on to new beginnings. Hate to say we told you so, but, hey, we told a lot of y'all in ESPN. Step up your game.
Eddie, how you doing?
You all laughed at me. Well, who's laughing now? That's
Okay.
how I feel. That's how I feel.
So we're going to get into, obviously, the big news on Monday morning. Diego Cocca fired as the Mexico national team manager. We'll get into some of that and what's going to happen now that the interim's in. Is he the interim for now, or could he possibly take over as the manager? We'll see. USA beats Canada in the CONCACAF Nations League. Some coaching news around FIFA, and then obviously we'll get into some other things as we usually do. But we're going to start off, obviously, with Diego Cocca fired as the Mexican national team manager. He only lasted
7 games.
7 games. Obviously, what happened against Mexico or what happened against the United States was inexcusable. His team didn't look like they wanted to be out there. Players were fighting. The fans were chanting. And obviously, it hasn't been a good look. Like I told you, folks, I was there in San Diego, watching the game, and I just didn't think that Diego Cocca had strategy. I even wrote about it in the Sporting Tribune. I was like, I don't think this guy has a direction. I don't know what's going on.
Well, Champ, you were there for the Cameroon game, but then we watched the USA
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like,
so you had an idea live in person. Like,
yeah,
this guy does not know what he's doing.
Exactly. And so obviously it confirmed, and now on Monday he was fired. But JC, I'm going to start it off with you. What do you make of this? And obviously, not only the loss was bad, but then real quick, I'll show you. This was a third place game against God, who did they play in the third?
Look like the empty hot out there.
Oh, that's what I was going to show you guys. Like this is the third place game, and look at all the emptiness. Like, when have you guys ever seen El Tri go out there, play a game, and it be an empty stadium and no fans there?
And in Vegas, no less. That's crazy.
It was just terrible. And even though, I mean, I'm going to be honest, even the final was didn't have that many people there. But just JC, what do you make of this?
I mean, you know what they say. You play dumb games, you can get dumb results. And, you know, Cocca should have never been out there to begin with. And, you know, I'm glad now that Jimmy is the next guy taking the place, because that's who I was rooting for. The only real Mexican coach to actually go ahead and have an actual process with quality players and get results. It's not something based off of, you know, who's promoting the guy or who's in his corner and none of that fun stuff. This is a guy who I feel like Jimmy earned the spot and got overlooked. And I'm glad the stunt only lasted 7 games, and, you know, rightfully so. You hate to see it, but in a way, they should have just never put this guy to begin with. Copa Oro, it's all or nothing now. I feel like they'll let Jimmy ride this tournament out, and based on how he does in this tournament, just because La Liga is starting up very soon as well, they don't really have time to shuffle and you know, ruffle other teams' feathers and start asking for another guy to come on. And Cocca look lost, but I mean, at the same time, you do have to give coaches time to do a process. But if you're going to give anybody the time of day to go sit there and pick players and develop a team, it might as well be a guy who already won. And basically the foundation that he's going to be using is the same foundation that he was using in the Olympics. And you already saw he was able to place a bronze medal. He lost to, who was it, Brazil, if I remember correctly on the fly, right? A pretty okay Brazil team, you know, when you look at who was playing on that squad. But it all just comes down to, you know, case in point. These are the same players and the same guys you're going to be facing the next 2-3 to World Cups. All these guys that were playing in this, you know, younger Olympic medal games. And you grow up and you play against them. Last time Mexico had a strong team, it started with a strong base from the Olympics. That team that won the gold was the same team who really was, quote unquote, Mexico's golden age. And, you know, it starts at the bottom and you have to do a process. Kudos to USA. They proved it. You got to have faith in the process, but you also have to have the right to manager. They got a real young squad. What's the age average? Like 23 out there right now?
I believe.
23, 24. They debuted one of the youngest midfielders ever for Team USA with Aarons and Gio Reyna. And they produced. They ran amok. You know, it leaves no doubt. You got to trust the process. You got to put a coach out there that cares for the team, lives and breathes the colors. Jimmy, I'm with you, champ. I'm riding the Jimmy bus, man. Here we go. I'm on board.
And JC is correct. They lost to Brazil in penalties.
It depends, man.
Yeah. And then they had actually lost to Japan earlier in the tournament in the group stages, and they beat them in the bronze medal match 3-1
when it matters most.
Yep. So JC's on the Jimmy Lozano train. Eddie, why did it all come undone for Diego Cocca? And do you feel like Thursday was the biggest indicator against the U.S. with the players fighting, players not paying attention to him, players not even? I saw him at times whistling and trying to get the players' attention, and players were just kept on doing their thing. Do you feel like that Thursday was the biggest indicator of to the Mexican Federation? Hey, we need to get this guy out of here.
I mean, absolutely. It looked like the guy had no control over the locker room. The guy's playing on the pitch, could care less what he had to say. If he did have a game plan, the players never understood it or never stuck to it, because clearly from the first 10 minutes you could see there was no football being played. It's almost like a worse version of parking the bus. And I understand that's how you won at Atlas and everything, but this is not Liga MX. This is, you're playing national teams. You're playing a much more fluid, faster game. So I'm not surprised. Like, we told you so on this podcast, that he's not going to last if he loses to the USA. That's exactly what happened. He got fired after 7 games. And the FMF just came out real quick, try to, put water on the fire there and try to weather the storm there, a little Band-Aid there, and big statement issued saying that, a lot of people are being axed or have to resign. But it's more the same things that, like, hey, let's make a quick adjustment here and give the fans what they want, which is what JC said. They wanted a Mexican coach coaching the Mexican national team, and Jimmy has the resume for that. But how long would that process last? Will they also get upset if Jimmy doesn't deliver in such a short amount of time the Gold Cup?
Hope not.
And I'll be honest with you, the U.S. team that's going to that Gold Cup is not a very strong U.S. team. It's more so, I feel, that they're using that tournament to scout more players as they continue through the process.
And that's what they do.
And that's not a luxury that Mexico can have right now. They have to show up for that cup. If you would have won the Nations League, then maybe you can send a different squad to the Gold Cup, right? And scout different players, but that's not the case.
Mexico needs to scout out starters, not just they need to scout starters. They don't even know. I don't even think they have a basic 11.
It's just, when players like Santi Jimenez gets overlooked for Henry Martin, you're still giving guys like Gallardo a chance in the squad. Johan Vasquez kind of looked terrible, in my opinion, back there. Then you have someone like Memo Ochoa, who I feel like he's already done what he's done with the selección. He needs to move on. You bring in who's that right back that went to Barcelona? Julian Alvarez. Didn't really offer you much going forward. I think you're better off playing Arteaga there if he was available.
Even worse. But I guess,
But it's a mess right now. So what's next for Mexico and the national team is gaining that trust again that they had with the fans, because, like you said, Fernando, you go to any stadium, no matter the game, the fans will show up. And when have you ever seen an El Tri game be that empty? Never. And the only reason that they're having this quick reaction is because you're hurting their pocketbooks.
Yep.
No one's showing up to these games. You're hurting their bottom. You're hurting their bottom line, your bottom dollar, and they felt it, and rightfully so.
They could be playing you, me, JC, Tony, Rob, Little Daniel. They could be playing us, and they still sell out the stadium. Yeah. And for that to be like you saw, like I saw a journalist. I can't remember what his name was. He tweeted out a video from an hour before the game. He's like, on Thursday, this was packed. Like, there was no room for standing. And look, and the parking lot at Allegiant Stadium, and I've been to Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. It's huge. Like, the parking lot is huge. completely dead empty. An hour before the match, he's like, people were lining up to get in here early on Thursday.
Absolutely.
And here it's like completely dead. But JC or Eddie alluded to it.
Real quick though, my last 2 cents. It's not all on the coach too. It's a top bottom thing. You know, it starts at the federation up top. They think they can just pick a random 11 set of players and they're going to go out there and
well,
get people.
That's what I want to ask you guys next.
And it's fun to see now. Finally, people finally get it. You know, I didn't go to the game here in San Diego for the same reason. I'm not going to go and support this circus show that they're going to keep trying to throw out there. Did I want to go? Hell yeah, you bet your ass I wanted to go out there. I've never missed a Mexico game since I've been able to go to one based on my own means. You know, so I'm always there. It doesn't matter who they play. You know, the last one I went to was when Qualcomm was still here, and that's the last time they showed up. You know, and they come to a Petco between here and then.
Game winner.
I would have shown up. You know, I don't remember the whole game. I'm not gonna lie and sit here like I remember the whole game. You know, for obvious reasons. You know, it was a party out there, but you know that's where it starts. I, as a fan, understood my responsibility, and I'm glad other people got it too. Because you can't go out there and feed the circus, and you keep getting pumped every year or every season with the same BS. Did you
guys notice too? At the final, there was a lot of Mexico fans at the final. I think they thought they were going to go, and they bought tickets, and there were some Mexico fans there.
Yeah, and then number 2, the quality of players they're putting out there are garbage, man. Johan, freaking, you kidding me? Cesar Montes, like, if you're going to get a red card for hitting somebody, at least hit him right, bro. Like, you're just going to, like, love tap them and then catch a red card and then not even fight. Like, bro, at least represent the crest for that, you know. But they're all scrubs. They got circles running around them. There is nobody on that team I would take other than who was left on the bench, really, because all just like what, like,
I'm taking Orbelin, I'm taking Sati.
You know, like, salvage it. You can bring up the roster, and we can keep. You can play keep and drop. You know, but
you're gonna really keep Edson on there anyway.
He's trash. I don't care how much they pay for him in Borussia. He is slower.
Someone said he's the Mexican Busquets. I don't know.
Oh no, I don't know who said that.
Well, Busquets has always been slow too.
Bring him up, but at least Busquets understands and has high football IQ. Give him that. Yeah. He knows where to stand, how to distribute and play the game. But when you look at these teams, and you have to be comparing them to top players. And you go position for position. The only guys who make starting 11s on any team are literally just Lozano, Santi Jimenez, Orbelin Pineda. Depends the team, right? And Cordoba.
Alexis Vega.
Alexis Vega and Cordoba. Other than that, what else are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, realistically, like, you got to compare them and stop being like, oh, he's good. He's good based on the talent pool you're picking. But you got to start ranking these guys versus the guys they're going to go see in the World Cup. Where do you rank a Johan Vasquez with Militao? You rank any of those center backs or any of those defensive players?
But not even there. You don't have to go. You just look at CONCACAF and look the
Canada, the United States. But real quick, before we get into that, I just want to play real quick what Juan Carlos Rodriguez Vaz said today.
Oh yeah,
speaking about what Eddie was saying. This is what he had to say about what's going on right now with the Mexican Federation.
Soy Juan Carlos Rodríguez, comisionado de la Federación Mexicana de Fútbol, conectándome desde las instalaciones del CAR en la Ciudad de México. Este mensaje quiero emitirlo a través de las plataformas digitales de la Federación, porque me interesa que vaya directo a la gente, a la afición, sin filtros. A menos de un mes de haber tomado la responsabilidad de buscar un nuevo futuro para el fútbol mexicano, me percato perfectamente de que no lo vamos a encontrar en donde estamos. La última semana he encontrado muchas deficiencias en planeación, logística, funcionamiento y falta de liderazgo en muchos niveles. Un partido contra Estados Unidos se puede perder. Siempre existe ese riesgo porque esto es fútbol y el triunfo se va de un lado o del otro. Lo que no se puede aceptar es la forma en la que sucedió. Se renunció a ganar desde el primer momento con decisiones de logística que friccionaron al grupo. Al final, no se perdió solamente el partido, también se perdió la capacidad de reacción, el liderazgo dentro y fuera del campo, el control emocional y el sentido de portar con profesionalismo una camiseta con la que al menos esta vez nadie se sintió representado.
So basically, just real quick, what he said, just to recap, he said that obviously that what has been going on was not is not good. That obviously they lost to the U.S., but they lost before they even got on the pitch. That they lost by the decisions that were made. So obviously Cocca is thrown under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like the decisions that Cocca made. He didn't like the teams that were made. He didn't like what happened on the pitch. He didn't like any of that stuff. And basically, he's saying that he knows that fans are pissed off and that there's going to be a lot of changes coming to the federation.
Yeah.
And so that he believes that obviously later he goes on to say that they have a bright future, that they feel like they can get this fixed if they get the right guy in there. But I mean, I don't think we've heard this as quickly before from these guys. Like, this guy's made a lot of changes and moves and stuff, but just Eddie, do you is it all hot smoke, or do you believe that they are going to make changes and that they're going to that things are going to change?
If it looks like a snake, champ, more likely it is a snake. Doesn't need to bite you for you to know that it is a snake. Listen, when he speaks about logistical decisions, I think what he means by that is that Cocca was trying to get all these Europeans to come on such a short notice to come to training camp and play these games, when it would make much more sense to bring people that are already playing in Liga MX, who recently just finished a tournament, who are ready to go and ready to play. The problem that I see with all of this is that I saw a video on Instagram where this guy is in the director's box and he's like, hey, why is the Mexican Federation here with agents, with sponsorships?
Yeah.
What's going on here? Like, why is the agent of so-and-so in the executive box with them? Like, what's going on there? And why is the sponsorship for, I forgot which company, here with the Mexican Federation, right?
And then they dip out in the middle of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
because it's not going their way.
Is he right in what he's saying? Yeah. If you finish watching that video, I encourage you guys to do so. He says top down, things need to change. We need to start, involving a lot more domestic players into the mix. We have to get away from the sponsorships and the agents and whatever have you. But will that happen? Will that actually change? It's tough, man. It's like, how do you overthrow a system that's been in place for so long? Because for that to happen, you need TUDN, Televisa out of there. You need a lot of these sponsorships like
Univision.
TUDN, whatever it is. Grupo Pachuca out of there. You need Caliente out of there. You need all these, guys
and that's
that
the
have
tough part, because you're asking them to break up monopolies. Like,
and it sucks, man, because you see the U.S. and the way they're going about it, and did it take them a long time to reach the levels they've reached so far? Absolutely, but they've actually put those things in place to now they're the ones to be in CONCACAF. It's not Mexico anymore. It's the United States. They've overtaken the Mexico. The United States is the big dog in CONCACAF, and if Mexico
Canada might have overtaken Mexico too.
And if Mexico wants to get back to being the big dog in CONCACAF, they need to start implementing changes, and it starts with the system that's in place right now at the federation level, to get people in there that actually understand the game, understand the logistical part of it, understand what player wants and they need, what the coach needs. Not these people that are in there for the money and sponsorships and whatever have you. So it's a good step to talk about it, but you got to be about it.
JC, I felt like in years past, and I don't kill me for this one, but I think Mexico had an identity when it was Chicharo, when it was Andres Guardado, like those guys. I feel like they had an identity. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Way before that, champ.
Huh? Am I?
No. I still think the most identity, the team with the most identity, where what you were getting with, was La Volpe's years with La Selección. I feel.
Oh no, but I'm just going like basically
from 2003 to 2007, 2008. I think that was the best time.
But sometimes, I mean, not some people might not have been around that time. So I'm saying,
the reason you say that is because you say that is because they actually carried a process in both of those,
and they look like they cared too.
Exactly, they carried the whole process, and you got guys that are playing for the crest.
Yeah,
you got a motivator in the box who cares more, and we keep bringing up La Volpe. For those that don't know, that guy, basically they wanted him dead in Argentina, because they asked him pregame when it was the quarterfinal match, right round of 16. My bad. They said, who's going to win, Mexico, Argentina? Argentinian coach on live television in FIFA World Cup, middle of it, said Mexico's going to win. Everybody, Maradona went at his head, called him a vende patria, called him a sellout. Everybody wanted this guy dead because he said they were gonna, and they were on the cusp of doing it, and they had the team to do it. And then that's where that you know, you get that extra oomph. You know, when you got a guy like that willing to just go out there on TV, you got to back him. And then right behind that was Piojo, probably arguably one of the biggest player coaches in all of Mexico, just because he's still a player at heart. And he's still gonna go hard for his guys and yell at a coach every single time, no matter how petty or how big the foul is. He's gonna have his players' backs because he knows what it is to be a player. And when you get a guy, you know, you're grooming like Jimmy, you know, to go back to this other guy, you know, first of all, don't read off the cards. Don't read off the cards, bro. If you're coming from the heart and you're trying to talk to the people face to face. Don't go, you know, read a pre-made speech to try to make it sound good and tell people what they want to hear, because we got a very big saying in Mexico called taparle el ojo al macho, and that's all he's doing. He's just trying to, you know, throw a little water on the fire, a little quick Band-Aid to make everybody feel better. We're going to tell them what they want to hear, the things they've been crying about for years. Are they really going to do it? We'll see. I don't think so, because they're not producing talent at the level that USA and Canada are producing talent. And the day that they decide to stop selling Mexican players amongst each other for 12 million, 11 million, 16 million, instead of selling them for the short sale of a 4-3-2 100K deals out to Europe, that's the only way you're going to progress, because you have to take the short sale. The guys have to bet on themselves to go and represent themselves and go chase the dream.
The talent's there, champ. They were producing under 17 teams. How many World Cups did they win when the last 2-3 World Cups that they played in?
That's my point.
That's my point.
They're playing. They rather sit on these guys and let them sit on the bench and sell them between each other for 8 million, 10 million, because he sells jerseys.
17 million.
Like, bro, you kidding me?
Liga
like they
Mackey's,
wanted to sell.
Crazy.
They wanted to sell. What's his name?
Luis Chavez.
What's the Luis Chavez? They want 8 mil for him?
No. They wanted
17
or
17
like
from Pachuca to Chivas. Are you kidding me, bro? 17 million.
So letting him go to Europe for 5 million, like you said, 3 million.
Because he scored a goal in the World Cup that made the top 10. Just because of that, like realistically, like, yeah, because of the trash he was playing around, he looked the best. He was the best of the worst. Come on, 18 mil. Let's get realistic about it. And you show these guys short sale. He's could have been playing for Sevilla.
But
he could have been playing for
the Federation needs to pressure Liga MX to cut back on the foreign players. Cut back on foreign players and make it so, like back in the day, where you had to have the majority of your team had to be Mexican players.
What was it, like a 5-6 player max?
So it was crazy, right? So you seen all these. That's when you saw players like Borghetti play and Liga MX, Cuauhtémoc Blanco, Pavel Pardo.
And I remember like Andrés Guardado would score and first thing grab the jersey, kiss the crest, and then obviously do his thing to.
That's my problem with all these little divas.
Chicharito would do it, like all these, like even Vela would do it too when he would play. And like you saw on Thursday, Weston McKennie gets his jersey ripped. What's the first thing that he does? He goes and kisses the USA crest.
As he should.
I give that fool a lot of crap, but he does it. You can tell these guys actually do care. You can tell that these guys actually do care. Yeah, you can play against Mexico every single time and he'll look good. But see what he does. Where was he on? I didn't see him at all on Sunday until he tried to push somebody. He tried to push somebody and the guy came up, shoved him back, and then he ran over.
He had a great game. I think he was just overshadowed a little by Gio Reyna.
Oh, you sound like the announcers from Fox Sports. They were doing the exact same thing. They're like, quiet game for Pulisic, but I think he's had a strong game. I'm like, wow, okay, I guess.
No, I said he was there. All I said that he was overshadowed.
No, he was there in spirit. He was there in body, but spirit, who knows? But whatever. But you can tell those guys care. Like that team cares. The USA cares. They want to win. They want to play hard. And with Mexico, you could tell. I mean, you saw the reports that during practice on Friday for the third place game, that players were just like BSing. They didn't care what Cocca had to say. Cocca tried to gather the guys. Nobody really was listening.
You see, and that's the problem that I have with the players. At what point do you start thinking you're bigger than the coach? Like what on your CV makes you more important and bigger than the head coach? Never. No. Like no, if that's your mentality coming in here, none of y'all should be here. None of y'all should be here because you should really go out there.
Henry Martin was mad that
effort level, at least outrun the other team and outperform the other team. Because
you see a superstar like Vinicius scores, what's the first thing he does? Grabs the
You know what I mean? There's no pride there. They're all little divas who've been, babied for far too long, and they got. I don't know why they're getting paid so much, to be honest.
But look, here's my point.
It's not.
You see someone like Santi Jimenez, who just had, in my opinion, one of a historic season for a Mexican forward in Europe.
30 goals.
Played really well, right?
Half a season.
Was riding the bench for how long for Cocca? Most of those games. And you don't see him giving half-ass effort when he would come in for 10, 15 minutes. But then you got someone like Henry Martin, who finally Cocca decided to start. Santi Jimenez is riding the bench and he's going to play 15 minutes. Half-asses it. Doesn't want to play. Doesn't look interested. Doesn't matter if you're losing. It doesn't matter if you're losing 3-0. It's like we've all seen. Let's take Germany, for example. I've seen a lot of German national team games where they're losing 2-0. They're still sticking to their game plan and playing the game now they're supposed to play.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a mentality. Like
it's a mentality thing, and it starts with the leadership. And if they don't respect the coach, then
but that's the problem. They all think they're bigger than the crest,
and they're not. And they're not. And until someone tells them, because I know Jimmy's not going to stand for that. He's like, hey, we're here playing as a team. We win as a team. We lose as a team.
Do you guys know why Chucky didn't play?
I still nursing an injury, I believe.
Oh yeah, the injury that. Okay, I remember that. Yeah, well, I mean, and they just. But
it's gonna look worse if Chucky's out there, because you're just gonna see Chucky running and a bunch of other guys just watching him run like always.
Yeah,
like always. Chucky's running like crazy, getting beat up left and right, and don't nobody got his back. And the guys that do are on the bench.
Real quick, Eddie, does Jimmy stay as the manager? Or do they go get somebody else? And if so, who do you think it is?
I think they're super predictable, and I don't believe they'll allow Jimmy to stay, even though I feel like he should stay. Like JC mentioned, he does have a CV to back it up. He's loved by the players. I think Tuca doesn't want to deal with what's going on right now in the federation, because he's not that type of coach. He's not that type of coach.
What is he? He's like 9-0 or like 9-1-0 against, like, when he's been the Mexican national team head coach. Like, he's brought out I think he's probably brought out one of the best in players. I know it's a short stint that he has with them, but I feel like that dude brings
some
out
guys in 7 games do worse, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have much of a talent.
The federation has a habit of recycling coaches. So here's 2 names I'm gonna throw at you. You might say I'm crazy, but y'all said I was crazy when I said Cocca's gonna get fired if he loses to the United States.
Swear to God, if you say that again, my bad. God, wait, if this guy right here,
Hugo Sanchez.
I'll disconnect this computer. Say something crazy again.
Pio Herrera. I think one of those 2 guys is going to get recycled and thrown back into the mix.
None of them are more qualified than Lozano. But
doesn't matter.
But this is going to be the moment of truth. If he gets the results and they want to really do what they say they're going to do, they have to leave him.
Don't you think it's short notice, though? Yes, they have the Gold Cup starts on Sunday. You don't think it's short a week?
It doesn't matter. You just don't have to call these guys and call the guys that are going to win.
I think he's going to call his guys that he knows he can count on, and that's the team he took to the Olympics.
Do they keep him? And if not, who do you think they do?
Honestly, I'm not looking past him. I feel like he's going to get the results, and he's going to put the pressure on the federation to do and write a check that their asses can't cash, and they're going to have to cash, because they're saying that they want to cut out all the middlemen and they want to, clean up the game. If Jimmy starts giving you results, he's putting them up against their back. They're putting their backs on the wall, and they got no choice but to follow through and essentially just do what they say they're going to do.
Right now, there was a fan asleep during the Panama-Mexico 3rd place game. He is knocked out in his seat. One of the few fans that was there, and he is just he was
power napping for the final.
Yeah, you know what? Real quick, I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. This guy tweeted this out, and I was like, wow. He's like, un día como hoy, pero en el 2016, Chile ganó 7-0. In a day like today, in 2016, Chile beat Mexico 7-0. What has changed from then to now in the Mexican Federation? Has there been growth? Has there been steps forward or steps backwards with El Tri since then? And then what have they gotten better at, or what have they gotten worse at as a selection, as a team since then. And I was like, wow, I was really impressed with this. It only got like 1 retweet and 3 likes, but I thought that was pretty
yeah, Jose Luis Cibaja. Congrats, champ. Way to really be out here doing your job.
That was interesting, but we got to move on now and talk about the U.S. Let me ask you guys before. I mean, we're gonna get into this, but right now, how do you guys rank it right now? How do you rank JC? How do you rank the CONCACAF?
The same way it ended, just like that. First place USA.
Eddie, you same.
Second place Canada. Third place Mexico.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think USA is the team to beat. They're number 1. I still believe that Mexico can be a little better than Canada.
Yeah, interim coach.
I would say Mexico second, Canada third. Man, don't sleep on Costa Rica, though. I'll tell you that right now.
Panama just missed. They should have beaten Mexico. They missed a couple of shots that
every time against Panama, Mexico struggles. I mean, it took Raul Jimenez some miracle goal.
You remember last Gold Cup, Jimmy got hurt. Irving got hurt, and all the red flags were going up. Everybody was on alert mode.
But now we get to USA beats Canada 2-0. They had a really good plan against Alphonso Davies. You could tell they had him secure. He got loose a couple of times, but the ball was just bouncing the way of the United States. I mean, there was one where he got loose on the left side. He was going towards the goal, and the ball just bounced off his chest and went out of bounds. And it just it was a good showing by the U.S.'s defense. And they didn't have Weston McKennie. They lost. Gio Reyna had a really good game, 2 assists, and then he was lost to an injury. They didn't have Gio Reyna. They didn't have Weston McKennie, and they didn't have Sergio Dest, who both got red cards during the Mexico game.
Watch out for Dest, everybody.
That guy, that one's another one that I'm like, But Eddie, what did you think? What did you make of the made up CONCACAF Nations League final?
The made up, come on, guy.
It's another made up trophy.
It's not a made up trophy.
It's the same thing they're doing in Europe with the Nations.
Cristiano won the Nations League for the first
time. That one was no, that's different. That's
the same thing.
That's the same thing.
That's the real league out there. That's the big boys.
Listen, my biggest takeaway from this, it's not necessarily that the USA beat Canada. I told you that was going to happen. Is whether or not Greg Berhalter was paying close attention to the way that team was set up and playing, because I feel that midfield with Aronson and Gio Reyna can offer you a lot. And especially if you have a Tyler Adams there right behind them or Weston McKennie, that's going to be a really strong midfield.
You already know what's going to happen.
I think Tim Weah looked good. I don't want to butcher his name, but the guy that just chose the USA over England, Balogun, or he scored in the final. He looked really good. He looked like one of the better strikers out there.
It looked like if he would have been in the World Cup.
Well, even him or Pepe.
Yeah, he looked like he could start over.
Pepe when he played. Sure. Pepe played this guy. Can't stand this guy. Pulisic, who hasn't really played much all season in the Prem, looked pretty good. So, and I think JC, I don't know what it is with you guy, but Marcus Rashford lives rent free in your head. Let me tell you something.
I'm trying to speak some things into existence. I'm trying to
Manchester United are super close, according to Fabrizio,
to waste more money
and inking Marcus Rashford.
Money.
But don't you think? Okay, Greg Berhalter coming back. You don't? I think Gio Reyna might be headed to Christian Pulisic's spot in Chelsea. I think he might be headed to the bench.
No. I don't think he's going over there.
I don't know. This beef still sounds like it's still going. They even showed Reyna's dad.
No. The U.S. Federation, US Soccer should have told Greg Berhalter in the meeting, hey, if you're the guy, there's a prerequisite to that. You cannot hold this grudge against Gio, given the circumstances of what happened. Because right now he's showing that he deserves to be playing and he deserves to be on that starting 11.
Well, we saw what he did in the second half with Borussia Dortmund, and look at what he did. What he did in both games against Mexico and
Don't
Canada.
think that they just gave Greg Berhalter the green light. He's like, "Hey, welcome back." Like nothing happened. Like, nah, there's conditions to him coming back, and I'm thinking part of those conditions is that he cannot treat Gio Reyna the way he was treating him. Absolutely not.
By the way,
the fans will turn on him.
I love 100%. How they had said Henry might be considering the coach. They reached out to Ancelotti. They reached out to who's your boy? They reached out to Zidane. They reached out to
but you can reach out to whoever you want. That doesn't mean they're gonna reply to you.
Like, they end up with Greg Berhalter.
I told you he was never gonna go anywhere.
For me, I like how they snuck that in right after the 3-0 win versus, they just snuck it in. Oh, and by the way, Berhalter he stays. Oh yeah, who cares? We won. We already won this cup. Who cares? We destroyed Mexico again. Back-to-back times in this stadium. That's going to be their new home turf, it looks like. They don't lose out there to Mexico. But I mean, my biggest takeaway on the game for sure is just going to be the team they put out there. Because after the little circus and all the red cards and all the yellows, and it's like, who's going to start for USA? Bam, a bunch of kids, and they showed up. They showed up and they represented the country well. And these guys that went out there, Aronson, Musa's a dog, man. That box the box. That boy is crazy. He is really out there doing it.
It feels like Weston McKennie. It feels like Weston McKennie and Gio Reyna clash when they're both on the field together. And it feels like in the Canada game, Gio was able to do more of his thing because.
And that's what it's going to take a good coach to, really manage those egos for once, and let them know that they're here for the greater good. And that's what you said. They let Reyna just pull the strings, Pulisic be there for a quick little, 1-2 or something. And it's possible. It's possible, if Bale and Cristiano can coexist on the same team with Benzema and Modric, and come on, Gio Reyna and Pulisic, get it together, guys. Put the beef aside, and if you can make super teams happen in this world of football, guys, it's the national team. There's nothing bigger than the crest that you represent. And you out there playing like it, they ain't no telling what they can do. They already achieved great amounts. And USA was in the same place Mexico was in a couple years back. They didn't know where to go after Dempsey and Donovan left the national team. They couldn't find an out to save their lives, and they're getting beat up left and right by just about anybody and everybody. But now look at them. Trust the process.
They should be thinking 2026. This is the team that's starting. We should all be thinking and aspiring to that. Hey, this 11 that just played should be the 11 that starts.
Pulisic, Weah, Balogun, Aronson, Musa, Reyna, Scally, Zimmerman. The only thing that's shaky is that back line.
Zimmerman, I think, is one of the shakiest.
Left wing is a little shaky.
Richards right there, and Robinson, Jedi, pretty good. For me, it's funny how Zendejas chose USA but rode the bench all the way through, and he was the one that was running his mouth the most.
Oh,
the guy played 0 minutes.
By the way, he
ran his mouth like
there crazy. Was a video where he's trying to get some of his teammates' attention after the Mexico game,
and nobody spoke with him.
They're ignoring him. They're just walking right by him.
Nobody cared about him.
He was talking a lot of crap from the bench too. Like he was barking a lot.
He thought he couldn't even make, he couldn't even
make because they want to go play for America.
He couldn't even make a broken Chivas team, bro. This boy's a scrub, man. And then you saw what happened when it was time to show up. Anonymous. But yeah, no, this squad's strong. And, when you look at it top to bottom, that's a very athletic team.
They need a better left winger, though.
Oh, they'll get one. They'll get one. Don't worry. You might see Pulisic playing center forward come 2026. I don't know.
They want to lose? Do they want to win or they want to lose?
I don't know.
Bro, they were so close to beat the Dutch.
They lost 3-1.
You were one good midfielder away from winning that game.
They lost. You were there. Yeah, and I got crapped on by all the USA fans because I was like, watch, they're gonna lose this game.
They were one good midfielder away, and he was on the bench from winning that game. So that's all I gotta say about that. USA, keep up the good work. Mexico, keep up the bad work. Let's go, Jimmy.
honestly, if I was him, I would just come to the MLS and play here.
Who?
Pulisic.
You're
crazy. Yeah.
Why?
You're crazy. I'll take pennies on a dollar and stay my ass in a Chelsea training pitch. You kidding me?
I'm saying if he wants to play.
Hey,
bro, you think he doesn't have options to go back to Germany, playing Serie A?
Scrimmage matches out there are better than full games over here. Come on, man. It's like
you haven't heard anything about him. Nobody's come out and said, "Oh, this team wants him, that team wants him." It's just ESPN FC creating all these oh, this guy.
You don't have to leave. He's under contract.
No, I know, but I'm saying
a new coach coming on.
You don't got to move anywhere.
No,
He's got a new
they're not
coach
gonna
that
play
can
him.
give anybody
You
a
think
chance.
Pochettino?
He's
You think
got so many
Pochettino might not be
talented
able to get
players
something
ahead
out
of
of
him.
him?
I
What?
think he can.
You think Pochettino might not get something out of him?
I believe
if he
he
decides
can.
to keep him.
I'm
Where's
saying
Pochettino
I'd rather
coaching
take
at?
him over Sterling.
Chelsea.
Pochettino's the coach of Chelsea?
Yeah.
Come
We're
on
locked
now.
in.
No,
big
Pochettino's
dog.
not gonna want him. Nobody. Well,
Bro,
on,
who
guy.
you starting? Chelsea? Chelsea, you're starting left wing.
Look,
Sterling or Pulisic? Go.
It's looking like Kai
they're gonna
Havertz
play
is
Sterling.
leaving.
No, who are you starting? Sterling
Me? Sterling.
or oh, you're ridiculous. No, you're not. You're just
I know how
too
much
prideful.
they're gonna say he's making too much money to
You
not
gotta
start
start.
him.
I don't mean nothing.
That's how these managers do it. That's how most of them do it. They
This
put
ain't
up
that
the,
NFL,
Pochettino
big
does
dog.
it.
huh?
This ain't that
That's
NFL,
how
big
Pochettino
dog.
does it.
Poch gonna play who he wants to play. And you asked
We'll
Man
see.
City about Pochettino.
We'll see.
You know?
We'll see. But
Buster
all right,
Spurs team.
let's move on. Obviously,
Spursy.
Carlo Ancelotti has been designated
Told
as
you
the
so.
manager of Brazil. He will take over in
Mhm.
2024. This will be his last season with Real Madrid.
Activate the brand.
So there had been a rumor that supposedly he was going to have his son David coach Brazil until he got there.
Okay,
but
big dog.
that's already been Nick.
That's right.
He's going to stay with him at Real Madrid the
That's
last
it.
season with him.
Yeah, Brazil
And he's
said
going to
no,
choose
huh?
he's going to choose an interim coach. JC, what does this mean for Brazil for not let's just take away this year in 2024 and to the World Cup having Ancelotti with Militao, Rodrigo, Vinicius, guys that he knows, Casemiro.
You mean Madrid?
Well, yeah, they're
Marcelo as his assistant.
Yeah, Marcelo's gonna be there in the clubhouse doing
being
his
down
thing.
there. But what does that mean? Do you think this makes Brazil one of the favorites heading into that World Cup?
I think it's been a long time since you had a coach with this much pedigree for Brazil, and it does bring a lot of it calms a lot of minds, you know, because when you had Dunga recycled, you're like, okay, they try to recycle Scolari. It wasn't happening. That's his name, right? Felipe
Yeah,
Scolari. That's his name, right? Scolari is his last name. I remember his first name, Felipe. And then they haven't had this much certainty at head coach in a long time. And you're getting a 10-year guy who's definitely primed and ready to just coach a national team and you know, ease his way in the tournaments and pick his players the way he wants to. You got a guy who's got the CV. You couldn't have asked for a better scenario if you're Brazil. You got the guy. You know, and there's really only two other coaches that you can really say that are going to have this much impact and can come into a team like this and make players respect you. And most of all, with just presence. You don't even have to say a word. You see Carlos show up and you know it's time to work. There ain't no time to, you know, put pussyfoot around, none of that, you know, and it's going to be fun to see. I think you're going to get some real Joga Bonito come back, you know, because Brazil hasn't really been playing free Brazil football in a long time, and the world's hungry for it. I know I am. I'm tired of seeing, you know, the same old football from everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody's just
was putting him to sleep.
You know, that was terrible, that last World Cup. It was boring, man, and I'm tired of seeing wingbacks just go up and down all game. Let's see some flair out there. You know,
and you can tell all three players love Carlo. I remember during the Champions League celebration, they all started dancing with Carlo, and you can tell he has the love of that and the admiration of the team. Eddie, what does this mean for Brazil moving forward?
They're back. Brazil is back. Shout out Rio Ferdinand. No, but for sure, like JC hinted at it, the Joga Bonito days might be back, and if you're a Nike executive, you're licking your chops like this because that means you can make 1,000 commercials now. But no, seriously, you know, Carlo Ancelotti has the respect of all the players, all the Brazilian players that he's ever coached, the respect of the world of football, right? And what's the last thing on his CV that he needs to accomplish is winning the World Cup. And it's definitely doable. I think Brazil are always one of the favorites going into the World Cup, but now even more so that they got a coach like Carlo Ancelotti leading them. And anything's possible. I think Ancelotti's going to be able to get the best out of Neymar. You might see a Neymar now that's going to go back to his roots and maybe play that striker center forward position for Brazil. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a Brazilian fan, if you love Brazilian football, you're excited that this is happening. Giving Ancelotti 2 years to begin the process before the 2026 World Cup might be a little rough. Could be.
Will Neymar even make the team?
But I think so. Absolutely.
Crazy.
He'd be 34 by the time that World Cup
happens.
He'll be 33. He'll be 33, 34, barely
34.
touching 34. That's fine.
But he ain't. But he's more of a Messi 30. He'd be more of a Messi 34.
He's
not a Cristiano Ronaldo 34.
No.
Look, I told you, man. This is
that guy can't even stay healthy now,
bro. This Neymar you've been seeing is a 60-70% max Neymar.
Neymar's always showing up to play for Brazil, guy. Always shows up. Don't worry about that. It'll be good.
Last World Cup.
But I think Ancelotti might be able to get the best out of Richarlison. Looks like Conte couldn't do that. So here we go, right? Just a little Conte slap right there, but whatever. And then we're we hurt.
Somebody clap so we can feel better.
But we told you so on here that Ancelotti taking that Brazil job. Someone didn't want to hear that. Someone wanted to say that he's retiring at Real Madrid and
he's gonna play out his contract.
And as a gentleman, he's gonna play out his contract and to respect the Madrid fans and Papa Perez stepping out real proper.
Yeah.
Which now leaves a vacant seat. The Casablanca.
Who's coming back?
I don't know.
You already know who.
You know who's coming back. You know who's coming back. Oh yeah.
No, the man
it's
himself.
Not who you guys think.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie, do you want to lose another lunch to me?
We are full of I told you so.
All right, I'll do it right now. I'll bet you guys that dude is not Madrid's manager next year when Ancelotti. I'll bet you guys right now.
Little disclaimer: we do not condone gambling, but yeah, for sure, no doubt.
So you want to lose another thing to me?
You barely beat me on this one because he was going to step out and be there. He was going to be the coach this year, but Papa Perez talked to him in his ear, talking about like, no, give me one more year, please.
I'm gonna get you Jude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get you Jude.
Zidane has a better chance of being the manager again than Mourinho.
Don't start.
Zidane has a better chance of being the manager for France than he does for Real Madrid, guy.
Yeah.
They were trying to bring him back in
as
an advisor.
That boy ain't doing nothing.
Hey, he's doing a lot of good things.
Great news for Brazil. Great news for Ancelotti. Can't wait.
Great news for football.
Oh yeah.
We get to watch them play here in America. Man, that's gonna be crazy.
America.
Well, we don't know. Wow. We don't know yet.
2026. What do you mean?
You act like Canada can play in Mexico. Mexico's far.
No, but they're playing out here, bro. Brazil's playing
I know. Yeah,
we got the biggest stadiums here. They're playing.
And I bet you the U.S. will play them in a friendly out in L.A. or something.
I'm pulling up.
Because Mexico doesn't do that. They don't do them.
Brazil. Oh yeah.
Oh no, because Brazil is more worried about playing Bolivia and no disrespect Venezuela, no disrespect Nicaragua, no disrespect El Salvador, no disrespect.
Yeah. Peru.
No, Peru got pedigree. I ain't gonna go there.
Hey, I know a few.
What are we? Yeah, I know, definitely. No, but I mean, we'll see what happens. But I can already tell you right now that
the compas out here, right again. So put that out.
Told you so.
So real quick, let's just get into this real quick. JC, you have unlocked Dan and Diego's question of the day. JC, there's rumors that David De Gea could be headed to Saudi Arabia or the Middle East to go play.
Let's go.
Yes.
Dan and Diego's question for you is: do you think Manchester United will miss him? 1, 2, who could they sign to replace him?
Like I said, and I've been saying, you can put anybody you want back there at this point.
You put Lloris back there?
I don't see why not. Lloris has got a World Cup.
You put Pickford out there?
He'll try better.
That's
at least
crazy.
he'll drive for a ball.
That's
when's the last time De Gea? So Cristiano was the one that kicked De Gea out of being the national team goalie, huh?
No.
That
was Luis Enrique being dumb when he took over.
What do you mean being dumb? That's probably the best decision he made as a head coach. He gave himself a chance to win. He lost major games because of this scrub. About time he's gone. Overpaid, trash.
Who you signing, JC?
Who am I signing?
Yeah, who you signing?
Bring somebody up from the academy, bro. You don't gotta sign nobody. We're wasting too much money already. We're already wasting player wages, and then they're talking about signing Rashford at $375K a week. Based on what? Based on what? Instagram posts? Come on, bro. Come on. We gonna pay him for his thumbs now? Come on now. My boy's
Eddie, what do you think if De Gea leaves? What is that? Does that leave a huge void for Man U?
Yeah, it leaves a void. But I think Ten Hag knows what he's doing, and if he's allowing De Gea to leave, then he must have a contingency plan. I said it all along here that I wouldn't mind them trying to go after Neuer. If they can make that happen, if Bayern are tired of Neuer and his antics, yeah, come over here to Manchester United and
that boy stay wishing on stars.
Be the number one here. I wished on a star when I said Cocca was gonna be fired, but I was right. I wished on a star when I said Ancelotti's gonna coach Brazil, but I was right.
That wasn't wishing on a star.
I was wishing on a star when I said that City's gonna win the Champions League. But
well, you just showed your true colors there. That's all that was.
Nah, guy. I have a thing about me just being right all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
like why you're not right about the hair?
I'm always right, and if you don't think I'm right, then you know
why you're not right about the hair.
I am right.
Rashford
I'm
the last 5
right.
games.
I'm absolutely right about the hair.
Yeah.
Come on,
why
now.
we lose to Man City?
Come on, bro.
Why we lose to Sevilla?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that obviously takes us to what's on social media, and that's what I wanted to start off with. JC, you unlocked it. You're just good at unlocking those. According to Fabrizio, Manchester United are on the verge of reaching an agreement with Marcus Rashford over a new long-term deal. He is set to accept the proposal. Rashford is and Erik ten Hag are very happy. Final details are being sorted out. JC, what does this mean for Manchester United's future?
Secured.
I wish I knew what to tell you, man, but they're just wasting more wages on players that aren't gonna be a return on investment.
That's why we get so much.
It's a very bad financial move. He hasn't done anything other than just make Instagram posts, and then when you need him, he's not there. So justify $375K a week, pounds, not even dollars, which is way more when you do the currency exchange. It doesn't make sense to me. Like the guy is mentally glass. He's fragile. He's always hurt. Throws himself on the pitch when he just gives up all the time, man. Like I don't know. He has average seasons and everybody loses their mind. Like it doesn't make sense to me, you know. And it's bad that we keep this whole. He's one of our own. We need to battle our own through and through, bro. No, get him out of here. He couldn't start a season for Leicester. Come on, man. Like get out of here,
Eddie.
It's absurd to me how JC would chant Rashford's name back when he bursted onto the scene
when he wore the 39. I told you once he took the 10, he was done.
It's crazy to think that you, a Manchester United fan, is angry about them re-signing
about the head coach options.
Their best player of last season. This is
average
madness to me.
Average
madness.
He was not better than Bruno. He wasn't better than Casemiro.
He was better than Bruno.
Pause.
He was better than Casemiro.
Pause. Oh my God, bro. You are ridiculous. Look at this guy. Now he's just trying to prove his point.
He had a better season than Bruno. He had a better season than Casemiro.
He didn't have a better season than Shaw, bro. But all right, whatever.
I think Ten Hag is clear on his stance about Rashford. And
he scored a goal in the England game, JC.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah, who did he play?
Macedonia? Up to a long-term contract.
He played Macedonia? Oh, my God. Yeah, there we go.
This is Manchester United's future.
No, it's not. He's been there for
Ten Hag knows it.
7 years?
Ten Hag
8
knows
years?
If he's going anywhere with this club, he's going to need Rashford there along with him. So, I'm happy about this.
You got a little something right there.
Happy.
You got a little something right there.
I'm very
happy. Ten Hag pushing for the deal, bro. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm very happy.
Speaking of Marcus Rashford, he was asked during the English game what he saw if he watched the Champions League final. This is what he had to say.
So that's what I did. But after they win the game, I don't need to watch and celebrate and all that stuff. So yeah, BBO.
So, my bad. Let me repeat it.
I like watching football. I like watching the best games. So that's what I did. But after they win the game, I don't need to watch and celebrate.
So he did not watch Manchester City celebrate their championship. Eddie, what do you make of that?
As he should. Like, he shouldn't be watching them celebrate. Like, what does that have to do with him? He wanted to watch the game. Game over. I don't need to see them celebrating their first Champions League, and that's something you're aspiring to win. So you don't need to see them do that. The noisy neighbors finally got over the hump. Pep Guardiola,
Julia Roberts shouted him out.
Won the coveted treble as a second manager in the English game. we can debate all we want about what treble was more impressive, the Sir Alex treble, the Pep Guardiola treble. I always think Sir Alex and the treble he accomplished is going to be far greater than whatever Pep won. But, I'm with Rashford on that. I didn't want to watch the celebration. The game was boring. They should have lost if it wasn't for Lukaku, another one of JC's boys, missing point-blank headers, disrupting play, being at the right place but at the wrong time because you needed someone else to score those goals. Ridiculous.
Yeah, JC, what do you think of Rashford's
At least he was playing in the final. Where was Rashford watching it from? The same place we all were. So it goes to show how much he's
you defend
showing up.
Bums like Lukaku, but you don't.
They're on the same level.
Rashford.
They're on the same level. They're on the same level.
They're way.
I would rather wish on a star for Lukaku to score a goal in the Champions League final versus Man City any day of the week than to pick him to win like you do. That's where I stand on that. And I don't know. That's my problem with this guy. He's just trying to be everybody's friend. Like, have you asked me that question and I'm playing for
he was everybody's friend, he would have been like, oh yeah, I saw him celebrate and I want to go congratulate Jack Grealish and Phil Foden and John Stones and Kyle Walker and I want to go take a picture with them. Come on, guy. That's not what he did. That's not what he did.
A real winner, right there, you bust a little Kobe moment like that. I don't care. That ain't nothing to me. That's fuel to the fire. He's over there talking about. No, it's not, bro. Don't go trying to spin it now. Look at this guy making all the excuses in the world for scrubs, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Bring up the stats again. Was he better than the 38-year-old Ronaldo? Prime Rashford? No.
Ronaldo's numbers were still
exactly.
No, Ronaldo's numbers were better in the Prem. Overall,
let's go ahead and add in Brentford goals.
All right. Paul Pogba was in the news this week.
Here's another one of JC's locks.
He was interviewed by France by Views from France, and he asked, "My return to Juve because it's really the club that helped push me, and really the love from the fans, the love from the club that I didn't receive in Manchester."
Oh, I'm gonna cry to the media. The fans.
Eddie, what do you think of that?
This guy cost Mourinho his job. Can't stand him.
For sure.
I can't stand him. All the talent in the world, and for what? Wasted it. Another Dele Alli who bursted onto the scene and didn't do anything with his talent. I feel no sympathy for the guy. I feel no sympathy for the guy because he could have had it all at Manchester United, but decided to act like a diva.
I mean,
they didn't want to pay attention. They didn't want to pay attention to the coach. Coach told him stop with the Instagram post. And he looked at him funny and crazy. But here, JC
says, Rashford can post a million Instagram
JC posts. Is talking about Instagram, but it's, it's a little hypocritical because his boy Pogba was literally the Instagram king.
You just went live
being
hypocritical.
King,
so,
Instagram king, but Rashford does it one time. Oh, let's all
lose
our stuff. Come on, man.
One time?
Let's be real
JC?
Here.
One time? I don't even know why they're asking him this. Like, what's the point of it? He's been how many years removed from United? Like it just whatever, I guess. You just gotta, keep beating the dead horse.
Nobody asked him anything about United. He said your return to Juve.
It's right there.
No, they asked him, how do you feel about your return to Juve? And this guy's like, oh, my return? Yeah, it's so great because they show me so much love here. And I didn't get that at Manchester.
Are you done being upset?
This guy needs to be loved to play well. Come on, dude.
Are you done being upset?
Get out of here.
You done being in your feelings?
Real quick, just give me. I know your thoughts on this are, but I'm gonna still ask you guys. Football of
that's Eddie's favorite coach right there.
Football on BT Sport, but the school of Pep Guardiola, and they have Xabi Alonso, Vincent Kompany, Xavi, Enzo, Maresca, and
what the hell?
Arteta.
Xabi Alonso.
That's I coached him one season at Bayern, and now he's Xabi Alonso. Come on,
I thought that was
ridiculous.
Weird.
Oh man, BT Sport. I thought you were better than this. I should have known.
But I thought you guys would get a kick out of this.
Just like the guy under me on the screen. Just jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, Pepe's so good. He's gonna win.
Yeah, they love doing that. By the way, Cristiano Ronaldo with Portugal, he had a funny moment with a journalist. Journalist asked him, "Hey, who else are you gonna bring to who's the next person that you're gonna bring to Saudi or to get over to the Middle East?" and this is what he had to say.
If you could choose any player in the world to come to Al Nassr, who would you choose?
You. I chose you, right? You are like that I say, give it to him. Portanto,
Ok. Muito obrigado.
Look at him having a good time.
Care less who plays in Saudi Arabia, bro. Come on.
No, I know, but I thought that was pretty funny. I just wanted.
They thought he was gonna say Messi or something. Like, come on.
No.
Quick,
real quick. Your guys' thoughts on sources confirming that Gerardo Martino is set to become the new Inter Miami head coach in the coming weeks. JC.
Anything to keep their diva Messi happy, huh? Just anything. Like, what a freaking circus. MLS, be better than that. Come on. I hope this falls on somebody's desk. This clip right here comes across somebody's, nephew's cousin's Instagram, and it gets sent all the way up the line. MLS, don't do this to yourself. You just did yourself the biggest favor by signing Messi. Don't go and ruin it by getting this guy there. Don't. Please. Like, if you're trying to get out of 17th, if you're trying to get out of 17th place, get a manager that's going to work, that's going to produce the talent level that you need to at least battle for playoff contention. This guy ain't it. Come on now.
Eddie, real quick, your thoughts?
Oh, but let's play devil's advocate here. Oh, but he won with Atlanta FC. Blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, this guy's not it. You saw what he did with La Selección Mexicana. Abysmal.
What did he do with Barca?
What did he do at Barca? The 2.5 or the year and a half he was there? Nothing. What they win? Nothing. What they win? Nothing. Who doesn't win with a midfield of Xavi and Iniesta and Sergio Busquets? Okay. And Tata Martino. So, what are you expecting to get out of a 35-year-old Messi who's mentally checked out? Nothing.
Last thing, according to Goal, these are the latest rankings for the Ballon d'Or. Number 1, Messi. Number 2, Haaland. Number 3, Mbappe. Number 4, Vinicius Jr. Number 5, Kevin De Bruyne. Let me ask you guys,
that's crazy.
Why would you carry over the World Cup from last year if it was last year and bring that into this year when should it count?
No. Yeah, they're counting the whole year, champ, or when the football started to up to now. So yeah, it's valid. It's fine. But why would you put Messi in there? He showed up for 5 days, 10 days, or whatever it was, and now he's suddenly he played the best play. He was the best player the whole year. Yeah, we're talking about the whole year. We're not talking about someone who scored 5 penalties in the World Cup that were given to him.
I don't personally think they're going to give it to him. They don't want the Ballon d'Or, and
I'm putting Vinicius up there, Haaland, and De Bruyne. Those are my 3 players I will put up there for the Ballon d'Or.
1, 2, 3 for me. Kevin De Bruyne number 1, Haaland 2, Mbappe 3. Like, you kidding me? You take De Bruyne out of that City team, you're not winning. You're not even winning 1 trophy this season, and it's simple as that. De Bruyne, best player in the world, going down in history as one of the best attacking mids to ever play the game. The guy's he's cut from a different cloth, and he deserves to be up there. And unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like he's going to be one of those names that's going to be like, oh, who was Kevin De Bruyne in 10 years? And everybody's just going to overlook.
Julian Alvarez is there? A sub made this list. I'll put Rodri in there over Julian Alvarez.
Bro, Gundogan had a better full season.
It's funny because last year Real Madrid won the Champions League. And
when Cristiano won the Champions Nation, whatever they call that trophy over there, he didn't even get voted on.
But I meant last year Benzema was on the top 10 list, and there wasn't like almost any other Madrid player on the top 10 list. It was everybody else. And here, obviously, they won the.
You're not putting Thibaut Courtois over Julian Alvarez in this list?
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
Too many Madrid players. But yeah,
France football, you're a joke.
This was De Bruyne's year. That man absolutely willed that team to win in all these trophies. And
I think so too, but I think what they're going to go with is I think Haaland is going to be the one that has the best opportunity to take it.
You just can't be this guy for scoring 5 penalties in the World Cup.
I don't think they'll do it because they'd have to bring it to the MLS, and why would you want it out here?
I think De Bruyne is my pick, like JC. I think, but I would have Vinicius at 2nd and Haaland at 3rd.
Ooh.
There it is. Well, we appreciate you guys again for joining another episode of Compas FC. I know that regular Compas on the Beat, we have taken a break. We'll be in a hiatus for a couple of weeks, but Compas FC will still be here. We're still going to be shooting episodes. There's no West for the Weary. So we will still be doing our weekly episodes. More transfer news, obviously next week. Gold Cup starts, so we'll be having a recap of some of the Gold Cup games, and we'll have it all. So, but we appreciate you guys again for checking out another episode. Don't forget to check out everything else on Compas on the Beat Network. Don't forget to check out regular Compas on the Beat if you haven't caught up, catch up. Everything is basically about the season and what's going to happen, so you guys can check that out. What's up, Bolts? Dan and Diego and I break down the notes of the Chargers, Justin Herbert's contract situation. What's going on with that? Austin Eckler speaks about the running back situation.
That bum is still there.
And then, one name that I keep on hearing that I heard all during camp is Quentin Johnson. Everybody keeps on raving about him.
Rookie wide receiver,
yeah, the kid out of TCU.
Wow.
So I heard a lot about him. Derwin James called him the guy, so they believe he believes in him.
What you doing out there, big
dog? The rest of the guys. So I'm writing up something on Quentin Johnson pretty soon, so make sure you guys check that out. I'll probably release it either later this week or early next week, but make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. So Dan and Diego break that all down. And why am I comparing Dan and Diego to Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Make sure you guys check out the episode, and you guys will find out why. Also, I spoke to former fullback Lorenzo Neal, Chargers fullback Lorenzo Neal. I spoke to former defensive tackle Corey Leggett. Why do they both think that the Charger contenders? Make sure you guys go check out those interviews on What's Up Bolts. And everything else on Compas on the Beat. Don't forget to check out everything else. Compas, Combat Compas. Gilbert and I have something cooking up pretty soon. Make sure you guys are on the lookout for what's coming up. I will have your Money in the Bank preview next week and who I think is going to be the Money in the Bank winner. So make sure you guys check all that out. But we appreciate you guys again. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget, be a compa, tell a compa. We are out. Thank you, guys.